Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth admitted this week that we are effectively holding the country of Venezuela for ransom. In fact, he has very specific demands that he says came directly from Donald Trump, and if Venezuela does not meet those demands, we will be putting boots on the ground in the country of Venezuela. The demands are simple. Venezuela has to send the United States somewhere between 30 million and 50 million barrels of oil. If they do not do this, if they cannot get their act together in Caracas, as Pete Hegseth implied, then, there's a good chance we're going to have to send in the ground troops. Now, I will read you this exact quote that Pete Hegseth said on the Charlie Kirk show with guest host Blake Neff in just a second, but I gotta give him credit. I mean, hell, at least the Bush administration back with the Iraq invasion attempted to pretend it wasn't about oil. But this administration completely dropped all pretexts of, no, we've got to get rid of the drugs, to immediately switching to, yeah, all we want is their oil. So kudos to them for at least finally being honest about what's really happening. So here is what Pete Hegseth had to say to conservative podcaster Blake Neff on the Charlie Kirk show this week. Neff asked, "So far, Secretary, we haven't had any U.S. boots on the ground in Venezuela, but President Trump has said we're going to run the country in some capacity. Is there any possibility that will take place? And if so, how many? What could that situation look like?" And not to give too much credit to a conservative podcaster, that's actually a good question, right? Like, there are no boots on the ground. Trump says maybe we will. If we hit that point, what does that look like? Like, how many troops would you send? What's going on? And Hegseth responded saying, quote, "Strategic ambiguity is a really important thing. Leveraged properly, it creates opportunities that did not exist before, just like that raid on Maduro that no one in the world anticipated. So what happens next depends a lot on the decisions that are made inside Caracas and by leadership. The pressure continues to ensure that they work with the United States to ensure that the oil," and Marco made it clear, the president put out a statement yesterday, 30 to 50 million barrels of oil to be brought to the United States, to be processed, to be used properly by the Venezuelans, to ensure that transition happens the way that it should. I wouldn't foreclose anything, and I think it's important not to foreclose anything to make sure that the outcome is one that benefits the interests of the United States in our own hemisphere. Wow. A lot to unpack. So, first and foremost, he's like, yeah, we got to have ambiguity. Nobody can know exactly what we're going to do next because we're crazy and unpredictable. No, it's not ambiguity when you yourself don't even know what the F you're doing. Okay, Pete? That's usually what happens to people in a drunken stupor. They're not being ambiguous, they're being impetuous because they lack the foresight to make long-term decisions. And they can't necessarily fully process in their drunken state what the consequences of those actions would be. So again, not ambiguity, it's stupidity. So just so we're on the same page with that. Secondly, of course, you're very clear. If we don't get that oil, Trump was clear, as you said, Marco Rubio was clear. If we don't get the oil, it's not going to be a smooth transition. If we don't get that oil, there's a good chance we put boots on the ground so that we can get the oil. If there is anyone left in the United States, hell, anywhere on the planet telling you that this is not about oil, then they're the dumbest mother effer that's ever existed on planet Earth. This administration is clear. They are telling us it's about the oil. That's all we want. Not to mention, right, on Saturday when this happened, they're like, we gotta stop the drugs. It's the drugs. He's a narco-terrorist. How many times has this administration actually talked about drugs since then? How many times, right? Like, how many of these interviews, because God knows they're out there every day doing interviews, how many times are they bringing up drugs now, folks? Yeah, not happening, is it? but they are talking about oil in every single interview. Like I said, the Bush administration at least pretended that's not what they were doing in the Middle East. This administration has dropped all pretexts. They have dropped all ambiguity. And they're just flat out telling us, we want the oil, and if we don't get it, we're going to send in American troops to go capture it. Thanks for watching, and if you are not already subscribed to the channel, please do so, and do not forget to like and comment and share widely among your friends.